Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Proud Skill Worker. Today, we have an opportunity to talk to Phoenix. Phoenix, thank you so much for being on the show. First things first, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're at now, what you're doing, kind of your profession, and how you got here.
I appreciate the opportunity to come here. I am an Ammonia Refrigeration Technician. I have Op 1. I'm working in Crete, Nebraska at a Smithfield food facility. Just general ammonia refrigeration responsibilities.
Okay. How'd you end up in ammonia? That's not typically something people stumble into. It's usually an add-on career to HVAC or maintenance. So how'd you end up in that?
Uh, the opportunity just kind of presented itself while job hunting. I've been in industrial insulation and scaffolding for the past 4 or 5 years. And saw as an opportunity to get out of it. But once I got into it, I saw the demand and the growth in the industry and figured it was a viable career to pursue.
Hmm. Yeah, one of the best things I think about ammonia refrigeration, and I'm going to let you talk through this, but we have a really good partnership here. It's work with the Garden City Ammonia program, so it's the GCAP program, and as well as a couple other programs across the country. But I think it's always interesting to ask this, and if you don't want to answer, you don't have to, is how long was your formal schooling in ammonia refrigeration?
So it was actually a little different than the majority of people's. They came to our community college, GCAP.
Okay.
And so we had classroom for 4 days, and then they came in onto our facility, and we walked around a receiver, walked around an engine room, and tested on the 4th day. Little advantages and disadvantages with that. But overall, it was a very good and mainstream process. There's a lot more to it than that. I feel as though being hands-on would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
I've taken PSM and Op 1 both in classroom like that.
Yeah. And the thing about Garden City and their ammonia program, for those of you who don't know, is Garden City has established a full-scale operation down there in Garden City, Kansas. They bring in classrooms and individuals from all over the United States to do full hands-on training. They can break it, they can fix it. They allow you to kind of do a full operation. But as Phoenix alluded to, and something I always think is interesting is in 4 days, maybe 5, depending on how your school wants to break it out, you can go from being uncertified without a career path to certified with a career path that averages at the minimum $24 to $26 an hour. So for those of you who go, well, I need to go to college and I need to have a degree in order to succeed, I'm telling you there's other avenues. And Phoenix is a great example of that through the podcast that he'll talk about, that you don't need a 4-year degree to be successful, and you can do it in 4 days, as he alluded to, and be very successful. So Phoenix, what you said, scaffolding and kind of the industrial side, that's how you got into the ammonia side. What was the piece for you? You said it fell into your lap. Is that through the school that you were at? It was just a program that was offered that you enrolled in, or kind of how did it fall into your lap?
So I was working with Wayne Farms, which is the leading poultry provider for the South. And I started in their variable retention time freezer. And, it's just staring at a screen all day, watching boxes of chicken go up and down, up and down. So I decided, I want to do a little bit more. So I got into the refrigeration side by talking to our PSM manager, and it was just immediate. I knew I wanted to do this. I saw the benefits. I saw the careers. I saw the benefits by going into PSM, shadowing our PSM. And like you say, you don't have to get $100,000 in college debt. Find a trade you really enjoy and do it. And this is what worked for me. And I see it as a viable career that's not going anywhere soon. You have these old heads in the plant. They know their stuff. The majority of them, if you're willing to learn, they will teach you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents on it. That it's a very viable career, and the benefits really, really outweigh the cons.
You talk about this like it's a career, and I love that because a lot of people call what they're doing a job. This is a career. This is kind of your life path.
Yep.
So for you, what is the most exciting part about your career, and what so quickly drew you in and made you go, this is what I want to do?
I don't know. It was kind of just a getting my hands on the equipment, seeing it, seeing the history, and that was another good thing that GCAP did was they weren't just, oh, this is the equipment, this is what you do to it when it breaks, blah, blah, blah. No, they go into detail about the history and the innovations over the years. And that was something that just immediately drew to me and was, seeing how much it's changed, how much it's changing on a daily basis. You're getting more automated equipment and just the work ethic, always staying busy, always having a good pace of a work environment. And another thing is job security. There's not a state you can go to that doesn't have a lot of ammonia refrigeration. You're either going to be having pork, poultry, beef. I know Chipotle has a lot of plants everywhere. So it's just a very mainstream way of having a viable career nowadays. And it's not going anywhere. And like you say, you don't have to put yourself in debt either. Majority of the time, the company will send you if you have the eagerness to learn.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And I love to hear you talk about the eagerness to learn, the desire to grow, the desire to set a career path. So that leads us really well into kind of the mini series that we're doing right now. So through the summer months, we're doing a little mini series on what do you think the most important three skills are for your career. In the past, we've talked to people in maintenance, we've talked to some operators, we've talked to line mechanics. I'm curious to know what you think are the most important skills, the three most important skills in your career path. Why do you think those skills matter the most, and how do you learn those skills, or who reflects those skills that you're trying to kind of absorb them from? Because they may not all be skills you have, but you go, that's the thing I need. I need to learn that. So what are those skills? Why do they matter the most, and how are you planning to learn
I would say through this industry, um, as I've already said multiple times, the eagerness to learn, the ambition to drive forward and say, in 10 years, I want to be a certified technician. I want to know if we're losing our low side, I need to go in there and I need to cut on a booster. Um, just wherever you're at, it all depends. There's multiple statistics that can go into that. But at this point, just I think everybody in this career for ammonia refrigeration, they start out and they're like, it's all it's just bright eyes, It's all just you got to figure out what's going on. You got to figure out what this piece of equipment does. The most vital role and thing to strive for would be to get to the point where you can say, we just lost this side of the system. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what piece of equipment to go to. I know exactly that I need to shut this valve. I need to go shut the king valve, pump down this compressor in order to get my medium side back up. Just all of that, knowing exactly what you need to do, having the right tools for the job, and knowing how to fill out the PSM paperwork, knowing when to lock out, tag out, try, all of that good stuff, all the safety procedures.
them?
Um, like I say, knowing exactly what to do in that, you know, drop of the pin moment.
Yep.
But that's the majority of this trade is if something happens, you need to know what's going on.
Hmm. I think it's important to understand that your eagerness to learn gives you your ability to respond in those situations. If you never
Yes.
took the opportunity to learn, you're not going to be a valuable asset when the moment comes.
Yep. And it also goes into calmness during a crisis situation, so to speak. If you go in there dropping your tools, freaking out, oh no, we're about to lose this compressor. If we lose it, we lose the whole thing. Stop, take a breath. Okay, let me close this valve. We're not going to lose this compressor. If we do, let's do this.
I think it's so valuable. So why do you think, I know that we talked a little bit about this, but that eagerness to learn, how do you think people can learn that skill? I don't know if we've talked previously in the past about some other skills. So whether it's like drive and determination and humility,
Yeah.
like how do people learn these soft skills? Is it something you reflect? Is it something you're learning as you kind of shadow somebody? Tell me, I mean, where did you get it?
So when I first got into this, I wasn't necessarily career driven, so to speak. I did consider it another job, and looking back, I wish I had put in more effort to begin with. But I had a lifestyle change, and a bunch of stuff happened in my life to where I was like, I need to focus on my career. So now it is setting a positive mindset. It all goes back into that mindset that I'm going to go to work. I'm going to bust it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to learn something new today. I'm going to go follow the pipes and figure out where this pipe goes to. Does it lead to a receiver? What's coming out of that receiver? Is this going to the condenser? Is this a pump out line? Just constantly learning, constantly keeping that attitude. I'm going to be there one day. I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to be able to say, I know exactly what's going on. And if somebody says, hey, I need you to go do this, you can do it with a positive attitude, knock it out, and they can say, hey, he knows what he's doing.
So important. So important. I think this is my favorite part of the show. So I'm going to turn the show over to you, but it's my favorite part because I always tell people if you had one thing to say to the industry as a whole, so everybody who works in your industry right now, as a whole, you can speak to them right now. What's the one thing that would make you all better if everyone just did this?
Communication. Communication. You have in this industry, you have a bunch of people that are complacent and just, they want to get in there, get done. They don't want to teach anybody. They just want to go A to B. Let's get it done. Let's fix the job. And then you have some that actually do, they will teach you. But the complacency, there's no need for it. We're all here to work. We're all here to learn. Just because you've done it for 40 years and I've done it for a year doesn't mean there's no reason why you can't tell me, hey, this is how you should do this. Let's knock this out, and I'll tell you more about it after the job's done.
Hmm. That's great. I think it's huge and valuable for people to understand the why or the what of what they're doing, right? Telling
That's
someone
right.
do X is really easy. Explaining to someone why they're doing X makes them really valuable to you and the organization in the future. And I think people sometimes forget that knowing the why behind what they're doing matters to people.
That's right.
Phoenix, anything else for anybody listening? Anything else that you want to share? I really appreciate you being on the show. It's awesome to hear your story. Awesome to see your drive, the certifications you already have. You've been in the industry maybe a year, as you said, 2 years. You're already sitting on 3, maybe 4 certifications, looking at your next one. I mean, the drive is impressive. But anything you want to say to anybody before we wrap this up?
Keep pushing forward and keep learning. That's this industry.
I love it. A huge thank you to our guest, Phoenix, and to all of you who are listening or watching. Please leave a comment, reach out if you have any questions, follow us. Definitely call if you want to be on the show. We'd love to have you on the show. Thank you so much to Phoenix. Appreciate all of you. Have a good day.